Morning, Biff. I didn't text you, but I guess you know I'm connected and all that kind of stuff. I forgot to text you. Running a little bit late, but I'm okay. Got everything organized here. Or as organized as I'm going to be. We're off for another day.
I may very one. Generated controversy over comments he made toward transgenders in his new Netflix comedy, The Closer, causing some Netflix workers to protest.
You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore.
Chappelle says he's been disinvited from film festivals to promote a new documentary he made. Instead, he'll promote it through stops across the country, including in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati next month. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
With the weather changing, it's good to know Toyota has a wide range of all-wheel drive vehicles, like a stylish Camry, right now with up to $1,250 total cash allowance. Or go with an Avalon with up to $3,000 total cash allowance. Visit buyatoyota.com today and find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers may vary for hybrid models. See your dealer for details. Offers end November 1st. Toyota. Let's go places.
Oh, there's something so real about living local. And I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. We're the look at your local weather forecast for your Tuesday. Look for mostly cloudy skies, widely scattered showers and storms. A daytime high near 59. Overnight low at 47 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy and cool for your Wednesday, with highs in the lower 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
All right, listen up, you guys. Morning. You awake? It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday. I am loving the sound of your voice.
Good morning, sunshine.
Crank up the radio.
You all ready for the big show?
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
And action.
Okay, let's do it. Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
All right, let's do this.
Yes, we are ready to let the dogs out.
Well, what are we waiting for?
It's showtime.
Live and local in the Ohio Valley, this is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
48 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 50 degrees here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. 50 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Cloudy throughout the area this morning, and that's pretty much going to be the way of the day. We're right around 50 now. Going to be a high of 51, Aaron says. And it's going to be cloudy most of the day. You might see little peaks of sunshine picking in, but mainly a cloudy and a windy day. Winds are going to be important. We'll talk to Aaron Myler about all of it coming up later on. Aaron is back from his break from the wedding that he attended. We'll get a wedding report for you, too. A wedding report and a weather report coming up from Aaron a little bit later on this morning. So, but it's cloudy outside right now and 50 degrees. So. And it's not going to get much warmer, so that's what you got to live with. 7:10, 10 minutes after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. A big story, and I noticed ABC, I think Canada's their top story, Biff, is it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the vaccine for kids, 5 to 11 or 6 to 11 or whatever it is. So vaccine seems to be getting very close to being approved, could be even within a matter of days or a week, and that's I think that's a good thing. You want to see the kids. I mean, that's the last exposed part of our community, people who can't even get a vaccine are the kids. I told Teddy last night, I said, you know, today, Tuesday, I said, listen, Grandma and Granddad are going to get their shots today. Oh, what kind of shots? I said, we're going to get our COVID shots. He goes, well, you've already had your COVID shots. Well, yes, Teddy, but we're going to get what they call a booster. We're going to get our third shots. You want a third shot? Then the kid, because he's not dumb, he goes, have you had your flu shot yet? 6-year-olds asking me if I had my flu shot yet. No, Teddy, I haven't, but I will get that. I will get that too. But I told him, so we were talking about that. So I said, Teddy, good news. The doctors have been working on this, and I think that very soon, maybe even next week, they're going to have a shot that you can get for the COVID vaccine to keep, he calls it the germs. He knows about COVID. He calls them the germs. I said, it'll keep you safe from the germs. He looked at me and he looked out the window and he looked back at me and he said, no. No, Granddad, I don't want a shot. So I was like, okay, well, I can see where this is going to go. But I think it's great that we're getting close to vaccines for the kids as well. I don't want to open up a big debate. I'm not in the mood to fight over vaccines today, so please don't start arguing. You're just why you want to do? Kill your kid? Give him a I don't want to do that. The more people are protected, the better off they are. My wife and I had planned to go get our booster yesterday, and then I got thinking. I told Biff before I disconnected with him yesterday. So Tuesday is a busy day. Got a lot of stuff going on the show today. It's a full 3-hour show. My daughter-in-law had a little reaction to the booster. Now, the reaction was she slept for 24 hours, which now that I think about it is pretty much kind of like what I do every day. But so I thought, well, if I do have that reaction, maybe it'd be better for a Wednesday show when it's a 2-hour show. So we're going to get our boosters today. I will have a booster update for you tomorrow here on the show. So that's just a little bit of my information. I know you're going to get a booster, I assume, Biffy. Are you eligible yet? You might, because you might be a little bit. You got your shot later than I did.
Yeah, I got mine in May, so I still have to wait, I guess, a little bit longer because I think they're doing like they did with the first round of COVID shots. It's 65, and if you've got underlying conditions or anything like that, so. No, I'll just sit back and wait patiently until they say, okay, you can go. And I'll probably wait a little longer, too, because with it being May, technically I don't think it's been 6 months yet. So I'll probably still wait a little bit longer. But it won't be too much until it'll be officially 6 months. I think I got like 2 more weeks or 3 more. And then it'll actually be 6 months, and then after that, I'll probably wait until they give the go ahead to say, okay, everybody else or whoever can go. But no, I'm just sitting back waiting patiently,
hanging out waiting.
Yeah, just waiting for the okay and the go ahead to go.
Yeah, well, it'll be coming soon, and of course, Nancy and I were early. We had our first shot in January. Second shot in February, so we were well within that boundary. Plus, we are definitely 65 and older, so, and I'm definitely immunocompromised. So we got every reason in the world to be getting there. So we're gonna go up to the Highlands today to do that. Are they having the Mark Ackerman? If you can text me on this, are you having another clinic today, or what about Marshall County? I know Ohio County has the vaccine clinics up at the Highlands every day. I think it's 10 to 4. I don't know if I know Marshall County had a drive-through clinic yesterday. I don't know what they're doing today. I'm not sure. All right, 7:15, 15 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We're getting closer and closer to All Hallows Eve. Halloween will be here before you know it. It will be here this Sunday. And every year this question gets asked, and every year I have the same answer, certainly. I noticed on my Facebook page this week, Biffy, a couple of my actual Facebook friends were asking the question, and I have a new survey here about it, and that is, should you refuse to give candy to teenagers when they come to your house? What do you think, Biff?
I think it depends on if they are. I was going to say local, but nowadays, you get them. You get kids.
Nowadays, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I would say as long as they make some type of attempt to be in costume, or if you have a like a younger sibling and you're taking, you're going with them or whatever. I think as long as those two conditions are met, I think it's okay.
Over the years, I've explained this. I am of the belief Halloween is to have fun. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 112 when you come around. I have 2 rules, and 2 rules only. Number 1, you have to have something that resembles a costume. I mean, it could be as simple as putting some grease paint on your face, or wearing a raggedy jacket and claiming you're a scarecrow. But you have to you can't just walk up in your school uniform, unless you're going to be a school student, that's your costume. You have to have something that resembles a costume, and you have to actually play the game. You got to say trick or treat. Open the bag, say trick or treat. Now, if you are, and I've only had this happen once or twice, if you're one of these big guys, teenagers who come bum, bum, bum down the walkway and stand in front of you, they've got no costume, they open the bag, give me candy. No. There have been a couple of times when I've been afraid I may have made a mistake when I did that, because there were a couple of times I thought, they don't look too happy with that. But in the end, they all bend to my will. They all say trick or treat. I said, just make an effort to have a costume and say trick or treat. A new survey asked kids, when are you too old for trick or treating? The most popular age was 12. 12? Come on. That's way too young. Next was 13, and then worked his way up 14, 15, 16. I disagree with it, but I think 16 is an understandable age. If you think 16 is too old, at least I get that. 12 years old? Come on, 12-year-olds are a prime time for trick-or-treating. 5% of the people who surveyed Biff thought you were too old to go trick-or-treating at 10. Man, that seems hardcore, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 10. You're talking right around 4th, 5th grade for 10-year-olds,
exactly.
depending on when your birthday is. But
are we gonna start carding fifth graders? You know?
Show me your card, kid.
Sorry, I need to see some ID, please. Now, 26% of people was the largest single number. 26% of people agreed with me. Kids are never too old for trick or treating. So that's my philosophy too. Give me put a costume on, say trick or treat, and then I'm happy to give you some candy. 7:19 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Is that Mark with us? You said?
Yes, it is.
Mark, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Howard. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you? Excuse me.
Doing good.
So, what are you doing about? Well, first of all, just for the fun, since our conversation, when do you think it's too old to go trick or treating? Do you think are you ever too old?
Oh, never. I'm always out with costume every year. I'll be my dinosaur, 7-foot dinosaur again this year, running up and down throughout Elm Grove.
All right. What's on your mind this morning?
You were asking about the Marshall County stuff. We'll be doing the Moderna boosters probably on walk-in basis starting today. We only had about 200 folks show up at the clinic yesterday, so we'll just offer them right there at the health department.
I saw a tweet or a Facebook post late in the evening where you said, we still have some left. If you want to come by, which suggested to me maybe it was not as big a attended event as you had maybe anticipated. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we did about 1,000 Moderna original shots over the course, so we figured maybe half of those would show up, and we ended up with 200. So we have plenty available for folks.
Okay. Is it available just on a walk-in basis at the office?
Yeah, it would be at walk-in 9 to 11, 1 to 3. Now, the good news for Brother Biff there is it's not just the 65 and above, it's 18 and above with underlying medical, or if you live or work in a place where you think that you might become infected. So if you're out in the public, you basically qualify.
Well, God knows our radio station could be an infected place. Only kidding.
And the biggest side effects that we're hearing reported back to us is maybe a light headache, but really no real side effects this time. I had a gentleman who both shots, he and his wife were down for 3 days after both of the first 2 Moderna shots. He got his booster and had absolutely no side effect other than site pain. So it was a lot of good news we were hearing.
Good. As I mentioned, my daughter-in-law was really wiped out for 24 hours. I mean, just pure fatigue, no pain, no illness. She just was woof. And my son was just kind of blah, not sick, not ill, just sort of blah after that third shot. So I guess that was a reaction, but certainly no kind of nothing to worry about. So I'll find out how I react because I'm going to get mine today. I want full immunization. I can tell you that right now.
Right.
All right, Mark, I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you do down there in Marshall County Health Department, too. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Mark Ackerman from the Marshall County Health Department checking in this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yeah, I noticed at the end of the day yesterday, they had a drive-through clinic for the booster shot yesterday. And I noticed at the end of the day, they were saying, well, we have some left. Feel free to come down, which kind of implied to me that maybe they didn't have as many people as they thought they would have. I tried to check on Ohio County's attendance, if you will, and I couldn't really get. I wasn't able to find out yesterday afternoon. Maybe I'll get some info later today about that. Well, I'll get info today because I'll be up there today. 7:23 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Man, I'm sorry, Biff. I got that frog in the throat this morning. Can't seem to get the ribbit out. Ribbit. Another sip of coffee might help. All right, well, what are we talking about today besides Halloween? I got a lot more Halloween stuff to get to. Popular Halloween costumes, Halloween candy, just some fun stuff we'll be sprinkling in and out throughout the day today. But on the serious side of life, does one of the Ohio Valley's most popular retail spots have an identity crisis? The Ohio County Development Authority talked about the Highlands last night, and one individual said, you need to do a little more to make things exciting for people. I'm going to talk about what I'm reading in the Intel this morning and see what you think about that as well. Melanie Joy has a new book. She's an author, and that book wonders out loud why we love dogs, eat pigs, and wear cows. It is an interesting concept in America, our strange relationship with animals. We kill them and we eat them and then we pet them. It's a little bit unusual. She's with us this morning for an interview on that. Convicted former Supreme Court Justice in West Virginia, Alan Lawfrey, wants the U.S. Supremes to consider the potential impact of social media interaction on juror bias. Now, my first thought is, for God's sake, Alan Lawfrey, give it up. You've been convicted. You've gone to prison. You've done your time. Forget about it. Jeez, Hazel. However, I do have some additional thoughts on this idea of whether or not social media can bias jurors. Educator and author Josh Beach argues in his new book that what is measured in education today is largely irrelevant to the learning process. He wants to know, how can we measure what matters most in education? He's with us to discuss that. Our national correspondent, Tom Squitieri, and I review the top story of the day, making news in the nation's capital. All this and more coming up from me to thee. What's from you to me? Well, you can do that on the text line, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. You can do, as Mark did a minute or two ago, use the CityNet hotline, 304-232-8255. It is roaming right around 50 degrees and cloudy here in the Ohio Valley. It is 7:25. So does the Highlands need a stronger identity? I'll tell you what the Development Authority heard last night. Coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show.
This is Bill DeFabio, your host of the broad.
Local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
You want sports talk? We got the goods all night long. Tune into Sports Map Radio, evenings and overnights on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
He rambles, he rants, and sometimes he sings. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
729 with 50 degrees in the upper Ohio Valley, and we're not going to get much warmer. It's going to be cloudy and 51 or so throughout the day today. Maybe some rain and even some possible severe weather coming in later tonight. Aaron's by in about 10 minutes or so with the forecast. Biff, when I say the Highlands, what's the image that comes to your mind?
First thing is Cabela's.
Yeah.
I think would be the first thing I think of is that, and then probably the all the food places to go to eat. I mean,
you and me both. The answer I thought I would get, and the answer I think we get from most people is it's a good place to shop. I'm with you. When I think of the Highlands, I think got some pretty good places to eat up there.
I mean, that's the first thing I think. At least I know I think of, and I'm probably sure for most people it's shopping. But I'm not. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but you're going to need a place to eat while you're up there, so you might as well. You might as well figure that out first, because you know where you're going to go shopping, but you don't know where you're going to go eating. So figure out the eating first, and then take care of the shopping.
Yes, exactly right. And there's plenty of opportunity to eat up there. Cheddar's and Eaton Park and Permante's and
Quaker
Bubba's
Steak
and Quaker Steak and Lube and Starbucks even and Olive Garden and Panera Bread. I mean, it's got everything, all kinds of food places. So does the Highlands have an identity crisis? That issue came up last night, apparently, at the Ohio County Development Authority's meeting. And I'm not totally sure if this was just sort of a general conversation or if they are hiring someone to do this. It's a little bit difficult to tell from the Jocelyn King story that I'm reading, and it's not a criticism of Jocelyn, it's hard for me to tell. But the Ohio County Development Authority last night heard from a Washington County resident, Michael Takex, who is an associate with the Bowler Company of Pittsburgh, and he talked about lack of identity at the Highlands. He said that he and his friends often come to the Highlands, but he said, we just called it Cabela's. He said, I didn't even know it was called the Highlands. It was just Cabela's. Want to go down to Cabela's? Yes. And Cabela's was what they thought of as the whole thing. He says that the Highlands needs better consistency in its signage, a better sense of identity, a better sense of place, some logos and graphics and use of color and design and all that sort of stuff. He suggested that maybe, and I think this is a good idea, maybe some kind of a trolley running around the Highlands would work. Mayor Elliott would be pleased. One of the people last night suggested that there is no walkability at the Highlands. But it's certainly true. I mean, the Highlands is by design a place you go one place. You go to Penny's, you do your shopping, you get in your car, and then you go someplace else. Or you pick your restaurant, you go to Olive Garden and you eat, but or maybe you choose to go somewhere else, but you don't go to an area and walk between a whole bunch of restaurants. Does not have any walkability. And one person suggested that there's an awful lot of travel teams that come through at the Highlands, come to the sports complex and other places, and that they might prefer to have a way to get around the facility. So a trolley might be a good idea. And I think that's often true. I think that makes a certain amount of sense. Some kind of just a little jitney, a little trolley you could hop on and, go from one retail store to another. Plus, that would allow people who maybe come up to the Highlands on the bus. They still run the bus to the Highlands?
As far as I know, they do.
I mean, they did for a while. I think they still do. You can come up on the bus, but if you come up on the bus, you got to get off at one particular place. It is not possible. I guess it's possible, but you would not go to J.C. Penney's, for example, and then walk to Walmart. It's just, it's too far a distance. So I think a little trolley, a little jitney of some kind might make a certain amount of sense. From the Intel story today, parents coming to the Highland Sports Complex often must drive distances to take the young athletes to restaurants at the Highlands or to do shopping. Don Tennant, who is the solicitor for the county, said there is no walkability. Maybe a trolley system could be put into place. Someone else suggested better green space at the Highlands. And member Mary Pokel suggested there ought to be some more entertainment opportunities through the year. Although I got to say, I think the Highlands has done an excellent job in beefing up their entertainment activities, Biff. Seems like they do an awful lot of special events up there, in particular at the sports complex, but elsewhere as well. So,
yeah, look at all the the teams that have what's it called, like Dine to Donate or whatever, where you go up and you spend money there, and it just seems like that there's been a lot of other activities for fundraisers and special events and everything that have been up there through the year. And it seems like maybe it's just me, but it seems like this year there have been more up there than in, say, the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think so. And you've seen in this season of the year, they've had a lot of, I don't know what they've called it, trunk and treats or Halloween parties. There are a number of different Halloween activities they've had up at the Highlands. So I think they're beefing up the entertainment venues a little bit. Ms. Pokel said, and I'm not so, this is the one thing I'm not so sure I agree with. She says there needs to be more of a nightlife up there. After 10 p.m., everything closes and it's dead up there. After 10 p.m., everything closes in the Ohio Valley. It's dead. I mean, let's be brutally honest about it. But I guess that could be one additional thing at the Highlands is to have more nightlife. Comedy clubs I think have been talked about, or other bars or lounges or stuff. Although I'm not so sure I want an alcohol establishment there on top of that 2 mile hill. You know what I'm saying, Biff?
Well, that, and I don't think I want to be up there on that hill during the winter season when it gets bad.
That is for sure. That's for sure. But I think, I don't know what prompted this other than maybe just a member of the audience began talking about it. All I know is what I read in the Intel today, and you can do that as well on their website or in your paper if you get it delivered. The Highlands needs a stronger identity, Ohio County Development Authority was told. I think this is good conversation to have. I think the Highlands is a really great addition to our Ohio Valley. I think we all know what it is. It's retail, it's food, it's some entertainment. But I think there is a point to be made that maybe there ought to be this might be the time to hire some kind of a marketing firm to consider a logo, design, signage, tie the whole place together. I think a trolley is a great idea. I guess they've taken a different approach to the Highlands in the past year. The line I've always used about the Highlands is, it just growed like Topsy. It just growed. The Cabela's came in. Everybody said, "Oh, Cabela's, that's neat. It's going to draw some business." Suddenly there was Target and there was Walmart. And the next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. And we've got this huge complex up there. And it wasn't really designed. It just happened. So maybe it's time to give some thought to better organization, better identity, better marketing, and so on. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting story. It's in the Intel today. They talked about it last night, and I think it's worth at least looking at. You all have any thoughts about what the Highlands can do or should do to make itself a better place? I know. The first answer is, for God's sake, get better access to it. which they are working on. That second interstate ramp at some point maybe come in. The Highlands' biggest problem is it's on top of a hill. It's hard to get to. It only has one road going straight down the middle of it. There's no real, there's just not, you go straight down the middle. It's kind of, I don't want to say landlocked. I guess it is landlocked, basically. I mean, you got to come in and go out the same way. You don't have any other choices, or you have very few choices. You could go down Dallas Pike, I guess. Anyways, if you have some thoughts about the Highlands, just for fun, articles in the paper this morning, you're welcome to read it and offer some comments on it if you would like to. I thought it was interesting. 7:38, 22, and we'll do more talk about this. Maybe I'll get someone from the County Commission of the Development Authority to talk a little bit more about this over the next few days. We shall see. 7:38, 22 till the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show, roaming right around 50 on the entire Ohio Valley, and that's about as high as we're going to go today. We'll get the full forecast for you from Aaron Myler. He's coming up next after his wedding break. Again, not his wedding. After taking a break to attend a wedding. He's back with us, and that's coming up next.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's the Ohio Valley, only on AM 1600 WKKX, the Watchdog.
Good Tuesday morning, Ohio Valley. I'm Stephen Ruffin with your 7 News headlines. A worker at the Mitchell Power Plant is still in the hospital this morning following a fall yesterday. Officials tell us he is conscious. According to AEP spokesperson Joelle Murray, the contractor fell about 40 feet. Route 2 was temporarily shut down, so a helicopter could transport the patient to a local medical facility. A house in Bel Air is rolled a total loss after a fire yesterday morning. Officials tell us the incident happened around 11 on Noble Street just off State Route 7. There are no injuries reported, however, still no word on what caused the fire. Officials say they will continue to investigate. The Wheeling Fire Department is also investigating a house fire. Around 12:30 a.m. yesterday, first responders were called to 125 Gamble Avenue for a fully involved blaze. Upon arrival, officials say they saw heavy fire and smoke coming from the rear of the house. There was one person in the house at the time of the incident. However, that individual was able to escape safely unharmed. Authorities are still working to determine a cause. Stay with 7 News for any updates. COVID numbers continue to move in the right direction. Active cases have dipped below 8,000, a number that hasn't been that low since mid-August. However, the more contagious Delta variant remains a threat. Those cases have increased to 4,500, but that rate is also slowing. That was a look at your headlines. Have a great day, everyone.
Monday Night Football, in case you missed it, the Saints beat the Seahawks 13-10. Saints improved to 4-2. Seattle, a disappointment. Meanwhile, the Steelers and the Browns are back in action Sunday. Cleveland will host Pittsburgh. Cleveland quarterback Baker Mayfield did not practice Monday. He could miss Sunday's game with the Steelers with a left shoulder injury. Just a rumor, but an interesting one. Could Mike Tomlin leave the NFL for college football? Former Southern Cal great and a former great quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, Carson Palmer, said Tomlin is among the front runners to become head coach at the University of Southern California. Remember, back in April, Tomlin signed a 3-year extension that will commit him to the Steelers through 2024. Sad news in the NFL. Replay official Carl Madsen died Sunday after working the Chiefs-Titans game. Cause of death is unknown at this time. Mr. Madsen was 71 years old. Are you ready for the World Series? It'll get underway tonight in Houston as the Astros host the Atlanta Braves in Game 1 of a best-of-7. And it's a hockey night for the Penguins. They're back in action tonight when they host the defending Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog, your voice in the Ohio Valley.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest news, show updates, podcasts, alerts, and live video streams from the Valley's only network dedicated to local, community-driven talk radio, The Watchdog.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Coming up next hour, our usual Tuesday visit with our national correspondent, Tom Squitieri. We'll kick around all the big stories happening across the country and indeed across the world with Tom. And then we're going to talk to Melanie Joy, who's written an interesting book, I found it interesting, called Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows. The love-hate relationship Americans seem to have with animals. We'll talk about that coming up next hour. Right now, let's talk about the weather. He's back. Aaron Myler has returned to us this morning. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. How are you?
So, how was the wedding? That's the important thing. How was the wedding?
It was probably one of the prettiest weddings I've ever been to in my entire life. It was outside. It was perfect weather down there. It was like 80 degrees, a light breeze, and it was sunny. So, I mean, it was just, it had everything you wanted. It was perfect.
You say down there. Where was it?
Mississippi.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a little ways away. But I went to Mississippi State for my master's, so it was fun to see my alma mater and see campus. Now it's changed.
Yeah. Has it changed?
Oh yeah, it's like my dad described it perfectly. Mississippi State is kind of like Penn State if they had good weather, so they could have like great landscaping all year round.
Okay.
So it's like a big campus like Penn State, but it's just like it's just gorgeous because the landscaping is amazing because they have good weather all year round. So you don't have to.
You were not in the wedding, right? You just were there as a visitor or as a
Correct.
guest?
Attending.
Yeah, okay. So you didn't have to wear the penguin suit or anything?
Yeah, I wore just like a button down and like some dress pants and called it a day. But I also knew they were going to barbecue as like the food, so I was like, I don't want to be dressed up trying to eat barbecue because that's going to be a mess.
Well, hopefully the bride didn't have the white gown on while she was eating barbecue.
She did, but I mean, she's a Southern girl, so she knows how to take care of herself and eat properly. We're just all messy.
She knows how to do it, of course. Of course she does. I cannot eat anything that even resembles barbecue without making the world's biggest mess. Now, I make a mess of everything. I mean, I spill my coffee in the morning, for God's sake, but barbecue is just, it's why I don't eat barbecue in a restaurant. I mean, I'll go to a barbecue joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know if I order barbecue, I order barbecued ribs or something in a restaurant, I'm just going to make a mess, and people are going to look at me and go, what is wrong with that man? He's an old man and can't hold his food in his mouth. So I love barbecue, though.
This is like a pulled pork or like a chicken kind of thing. So you could even with a sandwich, it was like, it's messy, but like, if you like a sturdy like roll to put it on, it doesn't really fall apart quite as much, so you're okay. So.
Exactly. Well, anyways, welcome back. Glad you're back with us this morning. It's I'm glad you're back with us. Not the world's best day today. Going to be pretty much a cloudy and kind of day, right?
Exactly. It is going to be exactly what you think of when you think of a Monday. Like that's going to be today. We're going to have it's like really not going to go any. It's like the temperature's staying pretty consistent. We're just going to warm up to 51 today. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be windy. We're going to have a stray shower, like some mist here and there, like we do right now. So it's just going to be, like Biff and I were saying earlier, it's a good soup day. Just like stay inside, make some soup, work from home, or pretend to work from home.
Tell your boss you're working from home.
Wiggle your mouth every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the temperature everywhere is right around 50 already, 40, 47, 48 at the airport, 50 here at home studio. So we're just going to pretty much roam right where we are. And it's already cloudy, and I think maybe a little bit, as you said, a little mist and drizzle coming down outside, which is going to kind of be what we have to live with.
Yeah, that's going to be the story. Yep. Whenever we have like the clouds out there, it really doesn't help us warm up or cool off at all. So it's just going to kind of keep us right around 50, just like you said.
Last night I was looking at Zach's forecast, and he was suggesting that tonight we could see some gusty winds and maybe even some severe weather. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just going to be the gusty winds. It's like up to about 31 miles an hour. So it's like that's pretty quick. If you like drive your car at 30 miles an hour and then stick your head out the window, it's pretty breezy. So
don't do that.
Well, yeah,
Let me begin by saying don't do that.
But yes, it's going to be like, it's already kind of windy outside, and then we're going to keep with that windy and really gusty kind of conditions for the day today. But luckily, as we get into tomorrow, that'll calm down quite a bit more and give us nicer conditions.
Yeah, but it looks like at least up until Halloween, it's going to be still going to be cloudy and a little bit dreary for the next several days, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be less bad tomorrow because we're going to have mostly cloudy conditions. Like we'll still see a little bit of sun probably, but not much. But no rain expected for tomorrow. Thursday, it's going to start in the afternoon and going through the evening and whatnot. We're going to have rain just starting, and then we have rain Thursday, rain Friday, some rain on showers on Saturday. So it's really not going to get nicer till Halloween. But I think that stray sprinkle is probably going to fall off on Sunday for Halloween. But I'm not calling Halloween that far out because that's just asking to make somebody angry.
Well, I guess then you're not going to answer my next question, which is, what are the kiddies going to find when they go trick-or-treating on Halloween night? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be misty? Are they going to have to put something on top of their costume probably?
From what I'm seeing right now, I don't think we'll see much on Sunday. I really don't. I think it's going to be mainly dry. I think if we have any sprinkles, it's probably going to be the first half of the day. So I think what time do people trick or treat? I don't even know. After sunset, I assume.
5:30, Biff? Is that what Wheeling says? 5:30, I think.
It's either 5:30 to 6:30 or 6 to 7.
Okay. So I think by that point it'll be like a little bit clearer outside because we're gonna have clouds kind of clearing out of the day on Saturday through the day. So on Sunday. So I think it'll be a decent night, but we were saying earlier on the show, I definitely think it's going to be cooler because 57 is only the high. So it'll probably be around 55, 57 by the time people are trick-or-treating, but that's still not that warm.
Right. All right.
So be a mummy this year.
Yeah, there be a mummy and you'll be dressed already, with what you need. Yeah. All right. I think I asked you this before. Are you dressing up for Halloween?
I am this year. I'm going to do it on Friday, so I'll be getting ready.
What are you going to Zach? You going to Zach Petty?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. All I have to do
you
is
put on the fair weather tie, get all dressed up in a good suit there.
I'd have to tie it like he does, though, where he's like the really big knot that's really crisp. Then I get the glasses.
You should. I think years ago, one of my producers came into the studio on a Halloween day, dressed as me, and I swear, I wanted to be angry at him. He had a pillow in his, underneath his shirt and all that kind of, but a tie that was too short, and I wanted to be mad at him, but he had it just right. he just looked like me. So I think you should consider that. Go with Zach Petty. I think that would be interesting.
I could just wear his workout for here if I just get some fake glasses and get them right. Just borrow one of his ties. So funny.
All right, Aaron. Good to have you back. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Talk to you then, Howard. Have a good one.
You too. 48 degrees right now, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 50 here at my home studios. 50 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. It is cloudy. I cannot see through the window. I have my door closed. Can't look out the window. But according to what I'm seeing here on Storm Tracker 7, it looks like there's rain coming down as well. Definitely cloudy up there, I can tell that. So, again, to a large extent, what you see is what you get. That's just what it's going to be like today. A couple of 8 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show, and I don't need a break. Is that correct, Biffy?
That is correct.
A couple of stories I just wanted to just touch base on here. This is a story I was going to bring up a couple days ago, or actually maybe last week, and the story has changed since then anyways. Go down to Miami, Florida, one of our favorite states, Biffy, down to Florida.
Yes.
Where a charter school had originally said that any student who took the vaccine could not come to school. You couldn't come to school if you didn't have the vaccine. They said that if you had the vaccine, then you could not come to school. You had to quarantine. The headmistress, or whatever she calls herself for this private school, says that she doesn't believe in the vaccine. She thinks the vaccine is more trouble. She thinks it creates problems. She's one of these people who believe that somehow you shed bad stuff once you get the vaccine. That is absolutely, factually, scientifically not true, but that's what she said. So they had set up a policy, and they said they would not hire any teachers who were vaccinated. I mean, it's like, Biff, I don't know if you read Superman comic books when you were a kid or not, but it's like Bizarro World. You know?
Yeah.
Up is down, down is up. If you are vaccinated, you cannot come to school. No. If you are a teacher who is not vaccinated, yay, come on in, but not if you have a vaccination. That's crazy stuff. However, after this story hit the news wires last week, and I was going to bring it to your attention, never did. It's been sitting here on my desk, and since that time, things have changed. It's changed because the Federal Education Department said, well, you have a right to do that. You're a private school. You can set these policies. You can't use any federal money. We're going to withdraw your federal money for putting that stupid policy into effect. I don't think the federal government actually said stupid policy. I just said that. So the school said, well, all right then, I guess we'll allow people who had vaccines to come to school, even though we think that it's bad. Biff, I vaguely remember, the polio vaccines, the Salk vaccines, and all that kind of stuff, long before your time. But it's not ancient history when all of America got vaccinated to keep us from smallpox, to keep us from polio. And you know what? Surprisingly, Biff, it worked. The vaccinations work. All of America got it. We lined up for it. Like Teddy, when I told him maybe he's going to get a COVID vaccine. No. Not all the kids were happy about getting vaccines, but still, it worked in America. This whole crap about the vaccines it just drives me crazy. So anyway, I wanted to bring this to your attention. This is down in Miami. It's not around here. It is a private school, and they have a right to set their own policies. And their policy was, if you're vaccinated, you can't work for them. And if you're vaccinated, you can't come to school. They did change that policy after some threats after a reminder from the federal government that if you don't follow federal guidelines, you don't get federal policy. Y'all remember Alan Lawfrey? You remember Alan Lawfrey, Biffy?
Oh, yeah. Justice.
Former Supreme Court Justice. Remember, he was the guy who wrote the book on corruption in West Virginia. I had him as a guest on my show multiple times decades ago when he wrote the book. I forget what it's called. I think it was called something like The Book on Corruption in West Virginia. It was all about how corrupt West Virginia's politicians were. And then you recall he got elected to the Supreme Court in West Virginia. And then we went through that whole scandal about, he took the, what was the name of that desk? Remember that desk? It was, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's a very historic desk that he took home from the
Yes.
Yeah, and the huge amount of money spent on the offices and so on, which led to that huge impeachment issue in West Virginia legislature. Lawfrey was impeached. He was convicted. He spent time in prison. He still, every once in a while, files actions to try to get his conviction overturned. Or in this case, he's not asking for his conviction to be overturned. Exactly. But he's asking the U.S. Supreme Court to take a look at the question of juror bias from social media. Now, if you remember the Alan Lawfrey case, one of the issues that his attorneys had raised was that one of the jurors in the case that convicted him in the trial where he was convicted, one of the jurors had liked some of the posts from Brad McElhenney as one example, and Brad was one specific example, and some of the others who were following the impeachment story. And the argument was, well, if they are following Brad or if they're following other social media, they are biased in this case. So Lawfrey and his attorneys have filed with the U.S. Supreme Court on the question of, does social media awareness lead to juror bias? I think it's actually an interesting question. You know, my argument has been for years that I am perfectly able to know the facts of a story as they've been presented in the media, but to also say, I will only look at what I am presented as a factual matter in the courtroom. I'm a smart guy. I can draw those distinctions, and I think that most people can. But if you follow, you know, I follow Brad, and I follow Stephen Adams, and I follow Mark Curtis and Phil Kabler. So if there's a story, if I were to be on a jury about something involving the legislature in West Virginia, I follow all those guys. Does that somehow make me an incompetent juror? I don't think so, but it's actually a good question. So Lawfrey has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to take a look at that, and we'll follow how that goes as time goes by. National correspondent Tom Squitieri is up with us next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's 8 o'clock. Here's ABC.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Making the morning commute.
Thank you, Cass Gilbert. Yeah, remind me of that when we come back. That's it. I'm getting old, Biff. Can't remember these things. I should have remembered that. Yeah, good. Be sure to, don't let me forget to talk about that before I get to Tom next segment. Yeah, because that's exactly what it was. We've got Melanie Joy at 8:40 and Josh Beach, I think that's his name, at 9:10. They're both authors, but it's not a radio row, so I may not keep them the whole time, but we're not on any time frame either.